Welcome back to the Escape Collective Tour Daily Podcast, everybody. I'm Caley Fretz. We come to you from beautiful Niice.
Very nice.
I was about to ask you to do
Thank
the voice.
you. I was waiting for one of you to do it. Wow. We've only got one stage left of this Tour de France.
Not even a real stage.
Interesting mountain stage today. I apologize for my voice. Time trial tomorrow. I mean, Tadej Pogačar's sort of officially won the bike race already. Do you think he'll win tomorrow?
Apparently he's the bookie's favourite, and then there was also some conflicting quotes of like, if his legs feel good, he'll try, but also that he maybe wants to soak it out, but he will try.
But we need to say hi, first of all. Johnny Long.
Hi.
Ian Treloar.
Hello.
Joshua Robinson of the Wall Street
Bonsoir.
Journal. Now we get back to talking about Pogačar and his time trial tomorrow.
We were trying to do some looking at of historical records because we had a day very hot, watching the bike race fun, but also at the end, Rob Hatch said history has been made, and then we were trying to figure out what the history was. We had to, work backwards from
technically
the end.
Everything that happens is
Everything is
history.
Yeah, but that's
After
not what
it happens.
that's not what Rob Hatch meant. He hadn't completely disassociated yet.
You right now, Johnny.
Do we have any ideas?
That's history.
True. I think it is the most stage wins since Gino Bartali in 1948 of a yellow jersey, a victorious yellow jersey, if he wins.
And if you don't include Lance Armstrong.
And if you don't include Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Because Gino Bartali won 7 in 1948.
Oof. So we can't match that. Yeah. Armstrong in 2004
mathematically
did 5.
Impossible with one
Yes.
stage to go, Caley. Well
That
done.
would be impossible. Yeah. Armstrong did 5 plus a TTT 6 in 2004. But they've all been crossed out. So,
Even by the
Sucks to
city
be
of
you.
Orleans. So,
yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
who I look to as my North Star. Which is, Caley? Which direction's a North Star?
Right now,
Right now.
Just to live blog,
compass,
live pod this. He has pointed over Cafe Paulette restaurant brunch.
And that's true because the sun's setting over there, and that's the west.
Yeah.
Oh,
God
Johnny,
damn it! I'm
you're just
learning.
locked in.
I'll tell you where Lance hasn't been crossed out. The Up d'Huez.
Has he not?
His virage is still there.
Ah. Fair enough. Maybe. Don't know.
But the conflicting quotes from Pogačar,
Yeah.
he was on French TV afterwards also saying, well, the descents are very dangerous, so I might take it easy on the descents, but I'll go hard on the climbs.
Which is basically what he needs to do.
And also, he's going to go hard on the descents.
Yeah. And he knows the descent really well because he lives in Monaco. So he rides this all the time.
Well, and the other fun little ribbon bow on this final stage is it starts in his home and then finishes in the town where he took his first ever Tour de France pedal strokes, because this was where the Grand Depart in 2020 was.
Just
Which
to
is fun.
clarify that, tomorrow's stage does not literally start in Tadej Pogačar's home.
That would be fun, though.
crazy.
It would be fun.
Kind
And
of nearby.
unfair.
And unfair. He knows the layout better than anyone.
Just a ramp out of the
him and
balcony.
Michael Matthews,
No,
and maybe
it's
if Matthew Van Der Poel's been on a play
It's
date.
the technical virage around the sofa.
Yeah.
They just don't, they haven't reconned.
Let's talk about today's stage a little bit. So, Pogačar said after the stage finished up that that he was perfectly happy to basically do a group ride into the finish, but Quick-Step had other plans for Remco. I mean, they had to try, right? They had to shoot for some means of overhauling Vingegaard. It looked like Vingegaard might be sort of on the downward tilt, don't you think? And in fact, I think I've said that on this podcast the last couple of days. That it looked like Remco was actually riding better than Vingegaard the last couple of days. Yesterday and today, Vingegaard had the legs back. Remco did attack up the final climb, but ended up basically attacking himself straight off the back.
But deep respect, because he saw the potential for the second place for the taking. And in previous Tour de France, we've seen in the final week, everyone who's not got a chance of actually winning the bike race gets very conservative about the way they race. They're like, well, I don't, because it looks worse to lose your place than to risk it all to take a place. Especially because I'd seen some quotes from Remco Evenepoel's team, so our Quick-Step, where Remco Evenepoel had finished the stages and said that at times during the stage he hadn't been able to feel his legs. Which then, I wouldn't also put that out into the media, but then he risked it all today, lost 50 seconds or so, which makes it, a tough ask for him to move up.
He's also extremely third.
Oh, yeah? Give it to me.
Wow, so like part of the reason why he probably wasn't too worried about what happened today and why he was willing to sort of throw it all to the wind and just go for it is because he is currently in third, 8:04 back on Tadej Pogačar, and fourth is Joao Almeida, 16 minutes back on Tadej Pogačar. So Evenepoel had 8 minutes basically to play with today.
I think Almeida could have an absolute monster of a time trial tomorrow.
He could.
Take
on
back
up.
8 minutes.
Take
Move
back
on
8
up.
minutes. Move on up. Or,
So he's taking 20 seconds a kilometer.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling good
On
for
the
our
guy that is probably the best time trials in the world.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
When was the last time that we had two domestiques finish in or round out the top 5? We had Adam Yates finish third last year, but
Yeah.
for the next two closest to be aside a very secure podium.
I think some of the Froome years had like very strong Richie Ports in
Yes.
second and third.
I like the concept of a very strong Richie Port. It
Not
just,
Richie Port. Richie Port only had one podium.
Oh yeah, he did, but he
he
would have been
came
like fourth or
third.
fifth.
G was up there one year.
Yeah,
Not Derek G.
No.
but Derek G is up
To
there
clarify.
today. Yeah.
Other G.
Sorry, GT, the thing that no one calls.
Thank you. I just feel like I need to really point out the obvious this evening.
Can we move down the GC for a second and talk about the battle for 10th? Which
Yes,
is sort
this
of,
is great.
This is like the most. This is their chance to do the most Netflix Drive to Survive bit for the Unchained Netflix series next year, because there's been a little bit of beef between Giulio Ciccone and Santiago Buitrago.
I love this. So today there was video that surfaced, tweeted out, Instagrammed out.
From yesterday's
From
stage.
yesterday's stage, but today the video
Yeah.
surfaced of Ciccone riding up behind Buitrago and basically saying, I saw what you did there. That was the stickiest bottle I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Buitrago immediately coming back and saying, well, I learned from you, mate.
Which is just a rehearsed response that he says to everyone who ever accuses him of that. That was my immediate thought. And because Buitrago took 30 seconds on Ciccone to move before the start of today to within like 10 or 12 seconds, I think.
It's
But now he took-
it's 22 seconds between
Because-
Ciccone and Buitrago now, and it's for the top 10, right? So like
Yeah.
when you list out the top 10 of Tour de France's
Yeah.
gone past, 11th is irrelevant, and so it's kind of a big deal to be able to pop
And-
yourself into the top 10 there.
Ciccone really laid it on too. He Buitrago came back and then he said, "No, non è corretto. This is the Tour de France." And it's funny to me because it's like, if it were Paris-Nice, he wouldn't care.
Yeah.
If it were any other race, like no. But in the Tour de France, you have to like come correct.
Which, yeah, if you're a climber, but if we were on if we had 360 cams of every single ride in the Tour de France, I would like to see how many sticky bottles have been given in the Gruppetto this tour.
The
with
Tour de France,
climbing.
all 11.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
There was a great picture on Corvos, one of our photo agencies, of Santiago Buitrago crossing the line, looking like he was on the verge of tears today.
Oh, today. Oh, yeah, look at that.
He's having a real hard
Turn
time.
that around. That's like an emoji, his face there.
So I think from this we can probably read that he's trying very, very hard
Yeah, I bet.
to beat Giulio Ciccone on the basis of being accused of a sticky bottle yesterday. And it hasn't panned out for him.
I hope this turns into some sort of other rivalry for the ages where they just purposefully go and meet each other, like the Catalunya in March and the Tour of Poland in August, just like, real revenge tour vibes. It'd be good.
That would be great.
Does Ciccone have a nickname?
What's Italian for sunglass thrower?
That would be fine. Whatever
That
it is,
works.
it's fine. Because Buitrago is right there for El Buitre, the vulture.
Ooh.
I like that.
Should we ask Amy?
We should.
And then we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. So Pogačar won another stage. It's
Yes.
5 for him as he held up on his hand as he crossed the finish line. That is 25% of all Grand Tour
Just below.
stages thus far this year. 24.
24.3, unfortunately, because there's been 41 Grand Tour stages and he's won 10.
So
I
tomorrow could
typed
do
into
it.
my calculator. He could do. So that'd be 11. Yeah, 11.42. That'd be over 25%.
Which
Wow,
is just
quick
wild.
maths. It's wild. And despite that, Jonas Vingegaard admitted after the race that there was a small part of him that hoped that maybe Pogačar would gift the stage, which haven't quite figured out and extrapolated exactly what that means about the relationship or where Vingegaard's head at. Maybe he was just so tired. He was just like, I was just hoping.
So this has been a topic of conversation in the last 24 hours because I think it was mentioned on the NBC broadcast. I think TJ Van Garderen made some sort of argument that Pogačar should be, like gifting Matteo stage yesterday, for example.
Yeah.
And then I think Mr. Armstrong weighed in, and I believe he weighed in opposite to everything that we know about him and the way that he actually raced.
Well, wasn't he the no gifts guy?
He was he was literally.
And now he's saying that you got to give
quote is
gifts
from him. Yes, he was the no gifts guy.
But didn't he give a gift? Doesn't the quote come from him giving a gift and then the gift being ungratefully received by Marco Pantani?
Yes.
But then after that, there's a strict no gifts policy.
Strict no gifts policy. Yeah.
Tough for his kids at
I think
Christmas.
there's a pretty good argument for, Johnny, you just said that Jonas was sort of, I don't know, halfway hoping you would get gifted a stage win. But at the same time, I think these guys don't really want that. Like, that's not the way they want to win
It's more disrespectful
stages.
than absolutely just easing away from the finish line, surely. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And also, Pogačar was on the front. He was kind of leading out Vingegaard. He was in a less favourable position for the sprint. And if Vingegaard could have done it, then he could have gone past and gotten the stage. It wasn't like Pogačar was sitting on his wheel.
Okay, Pogačar now has 16 Tour de France stage wins. Could have 17 by this time tomorrow. How does that change your equation for the record breaker, Mr. 35?
What's amazing is he's ahead of Marcel Kittel.
Oh, already? Just
Yes.
in general?
He's already ahead of Kittel. He's fourth on the all-time list. He's tied with Jacques Anquetil.
Really?
And in my mind, Anquetil won like 1,000 black and white tour stages.
That is amazing.
So we'll maybe have to run the numbers again and see if it makes it more or less likely. I saw a
Yeah, but
graph
like-
on Twitter the other day, which you never know if they're true or not, but it showed that Pogačar was still behind Cavendish in terms of the age.
Well,
and stage
he
yeah,
also
thing,
can't
but-
win them at the same rate.
Cav won a ton of them in sort of that like early 2010s era. Like
and then flattened off.
Yeah, like he went 4 or 5 per race for a couple of years in a row.
Yeah.
And then disappeared for a couple of years and then kind of came back. Yeah.
Thomas again made the argument earlier today on Twitter of we never talk about sprinters being greedy or not gifting wins,
Good point.
which is a good point.
Well, unless Cav was gifted his 35th.
Do you think it's because there's less time to process?
Let's
You just have
put
to
our
sprint.
conspiracy hats back on.
Is it not too hot for them? I'm worried the tinfoil is going to.
I left mine at the hotel.
Okay.
All right,
Much safer.
conspiracy's only in After Dark today.
What else have we got? Less race focused. Virage Pinot returned today. Surprised to see that. I didn't know that was going to be a thing, but it was. Hannah Walker was there for Eurosport, getting sort of jostled around in like some sort of cycling mosh pit, and then the camera panned behind her, and there was just a bunch of fans just absolutely rocking the Group Armor FDJ van back and forth. And I pray to God that Marc Madio was inside because he would have been furious.
But also crying proud tears. Like, simultaneously.
Well, it was speaking of doomed Frenchmen, it was also the last road stage of Romain Bardet today.
Yes.
Last Tour de France road stage of Romain Bardet. He's retiring. This is his last Tour de France. He was extremely eloquent at the finish line. I just had Josh help me translate some of the I guess post-race chat from him. That'll be a story up on the site later tonight sometime.
It was quite beautiful and like
he's-
very moving.
Yeah, he's very eloquent, and I don't know. Sad to see him go. Like he had some really amazing years. I mean, he was second and third 2 years running. Like he was the closest thing to, a great French hope actually turning into the real deal in the last decade. Like he was closer than Pinot certainly ever. Yeah, and it's end of an era for him, and he's struggling this year. I think with he just kind of can't keep up with the top GC guys. He did have an amazing tour anyway, right? Yellow jersey, stage win. It's good to see him go out on top, I guess.
As you'll read in Caley's story, he's also just one of these guys who speaks to the like real convicts of the road aesthetics of cycling.
Yeah.
The whole like it has to
Wow,
hurt.
there's a reason he gets invited to Ruler Live every year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Puts on, irons his turtleneck every year. make sure
I love that
it's looking
stuff though.
crisp.
It's like there's
You
a
need some of that. For
yeah,
sure.
there's a lot of cycling that is, like it's not putting on a show. It's like that's the way that he sees cycling. It's the way that he approaches it. And I mean, just the post race stuff today was just fantastic. It's a very emotional thing, I think, for these guys. They put so much of their life into this race, and in particular the GC riders have put so much of their life into this race. It's not just this month, right? It's the whole rest of the year, and then all of a sudden he's getting to the end of today, and it's
hits
over,
him.
right?
Yeah.
He's got 20-something K at time trial tomorrow, and he hates time trials. He almost lost a podium with 2017 on a time trial, kept it by a second. Tomorrow is not going to be his favorite day, and really today was the last one for him, and he went for the stage win, right? He got in the breakaway, went for it.
Do you think that was the emotion today, is that he realizes he ends his Tour de France career with a time trial and not along the Champs-Élysées in Paris?
I would
Like
be
he probably
annoyed.
always thought.
No, he gets to ride alone. It's like when a footballer is retiring and they remove him from the game in the 89th minute so that he gets his
an
own
applause.
standing ovation.
Yeah.
He gets to ride that course alone, wave to the people, really soak it all in.
Yeah. Well, I hope the fans are out there then for that.
We've just had our waitress, the mime, has come over, and she didn't want to interrupt our podcasting, so she's just mimed 3 big
Speaking
beers.
of black and white
Oh,
films,
three.
yeah, we did
Are
our
we
own.
getting 3?
That's what you just asked for with your
No, I
miming.
just asked for Jonny to get one.
It's fine. We'll put
We
the
will-
third to a good
Don't worry.
use.
We will find somewhere to put 3 big beers.
Inside me. On the emotional finishes today, Mark Cavendish also finished just inside the time cut.
Chapeau.
Chapeau to Earl Mark Cavendish.
Arise, Sir Mark.
Oh, sir.
He was like crying and
He
stuff.
was crying.
Was he?
He was
Yeah.
crying. And it was nice this morning because he got a special jersey that said 35 on it. Him and Vino.
I mean, honestly, Ian, I
2
think
years younger than he is.
you should feel threatened
Anymore.
because you're notorious for your friendship tour, and you're very good at it. You made friends today with Ben Healy's dog,
I sure did.
but honestly, I'm not sure if you can touch Mark Cavendish's friendship tour for the last 2 years.
No, but, well.
Yeah, but did he really? Ian was like full heart, no regrets, whereas Mark Cavendish's friendship tour seems heavily calculated into bringing in maximum marks in
with
dollars
all
for the rest of his life.
all possible chapeaus to Mark Cavendish. So, Sir Mark Cavendish.
Yeah.
He seems to be very good at smiling when the cameras are on him.
And then when he's not frowning and talking very quietly into his microphone so that no one else apart from the TV cameras can hear him.
But also bless Sir Mark Cavendish. But I would
Yeah.
also say that...
Maybe.
Look, I don't know. Is
Speak,
what it
speak
is.
your truth, Ian.
Speak your Mark
truth.
Cavendish truth. Is he a big butt face?
You could almost be
Is he a
related
big
to Mark
meanie pants?
Cavendish, I think.
What do you mean?
Just like the like messy sort of dark hair. I don't know.
He's got a few more greys than I do.
He does. Wow, don't need to get personal like
And
that.
35 more wins.
Who are you, Caley?
At the Tour
Caley
de
Fretz
France.
going off to Jordan Gigat, who was in the break for a bit today.
I love seeing the Total Energies.
I
boys
can only
doing
assume
things.
that Jordan Gigat listened to the podcast, listened to my segment on Jordan Gigat, and was so angry that he then...
I think they played it for him in the bus before. Like, are you hearing what these guys are saying about you?
And then the soundtrack to 8 Mile.
Exactly. Exactly that.
But in Total Energies, it's a team of such dysfunction that it would just get stuck. Like the disc would skip on the mum's spaghetti line. So mum's spaghetti, mum's
Everyone thinks the
mum's
remix
spaghetti.
is about to drop, but it's not. It's just
It's
just the
it's
last
just a
CD player in the Western world.
Let's return to Cav real quick. So,
Yeah.
I think anybody who listens to this podcast regularly will know that, this group is not the heaviest of Cav fans
Jonny is.
around.
Because we've heard stories and seen interactions
'Cause
which
he's
are
an
less
absolute
befitting of what we see on
Dickhead
telly.
sometimes. I'm sure he's very nice sometimes. He's also, to us previously, a dickhead.
And colleagues, yeah.
And many of our colleagues, a dickhead.
People
So
can change, Caley.
we struggle to get past this.
Are you saying this is conduct unbecoming of a knight of the realm?
Look, I'm
Yeah.
saying they've been taken away for less.
However, I think you can appreciate what he's done this tour. I think you can appreciate
Yeah.
what he's done for
He's still good.
cycling. I think you can appreciate the athleticism, the athletic endeavor, the record that he's got. Right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
think Pogacar's going to come anywhere near it because at some point, he's got Jonas Vingegaard he's got to contend with next year, plus whoever else.
Yeah.
Right? Like
The next day, another young thing pops up, and then we'll
Exactly.
destroy all of them, and it'll be
Lenny
terrible.
Martinez.
Isaac Del Toro,
probably
maybe.
not.
Probably not Lenny Martinez.
Let's be Team Martinez.
Let's be Team Martinez. That's, to be fair, that's how much how gluttonous we've been in the past couple of years. Is that you couldn't ask for more from a Tour de France, and yeah, I've said a couple times this tour, like the one thing we are missing is like a French contender to really get the public like on side. But the thing is, we can't ask for that because we've already got so much. But that is the one.
Yeah, but the
little
Alaphilippe
thing.
year is still the best tour I've ever covered.
We were reminiscing about this the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vibes for those 2 weeks that he was in
Huge.
yellow
Huge
were
vibes.
just incredible.
Massive vibes
I've
everywhere.
never
The-
seen one of them in the past 5 years.
The
so-
time trial
yeah.
in Po, where he monstered up that really steep street
Yeah.
right before the finish in the full yellow skin suits,
Yeah.
Just
was like the
Ripped
loudest.
a
It's-
massive skid. Like to finish.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the skid. Yeah,
Oh,
the skid was
It
great.
was so cool. Whilst we're talking about the great French hopes, I regret to inform you that we have one Frenchman in the top 25 in 25th position on the GC.
That's the highest place Frenchman is 25th place.
Frenchman.
Is Caley gonna hate it?
Oh no, sorry. I just can't read flags very well. Highest placed Frenchman. Any guesses? 22nd.
I think I
overall.
might have seen it on
Guillaume
your...
Martin.
Oh, good shout. Madouas?
Hang on. Oh no, 14th. I can't read flags again. 14th.
Oh,
14th, Guillaume Martin.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Then you have to go down to 22nd.
who else did we say? Madouas?
Julien Bernard.
Oh,
Then 25,
Madouas.
Madouas. And then in 29th,
Big
Jagat.
Snogger?
no,
Jagat.
Jagat.
You're kidding.
Caley, okay, I think you should take this time to formally apologize to Jordan Jagat, his family, and his unborn heirs to come.
I would like to take this opportunity to formally apologize to Jordan Jagat, his family, and all of his future heirs to come. I was wrong about you. You do not only ride in doomed French breakaways. You come in 29th at the Tour de France. Well done.
Pretty good.
And to return to David Gaudu, Big Snogger.
Yeah, where's he? Where's he at?
a
Apart from
big,
being dropped by
huge,
Nils
the
Pollitt
biggest.
in a yesterday stage, which
It's-
is weird.
On a
It's
mountain.
a pretty sad scene for David Gaudu, who has lost almost 4 hours so far in this Tour de France, with more to come. 63rd overall,
Whole stage of the tour.
Wait, so 63rd is
Behind.
4 hours down.
343.
Dude's still in.
I lost
top
four,
of
I
Isola.
lost 4 hours the other day when I got caught behind the caravan.
And he's actually a candidate to be, he's within 14 seconds of Matthew Bergadu. Matthew Bergadu could ride a better Tour de France than David Gaudu.
To be clear, we're always pulling for Gaudu, but not in that way. We want him to be as good as he can. We want nothing more than see a Gaudu top 5.
Yeah.
I think Gaudu is not the guy.
Goku.
He's not going to be the guy. It's Lenny Martinez is our only hope now.
Yeah.
He's-
He needs to go to Bahrain
he's
and
suitably
get
tiny.
some business-friendly
Ah.
race prep, and then he'll be good to go.
You know, we haven't done yet, boys.
My Sable?
Set the scene.
Oh, okay, that's first. Ian. Pick up
First of
your
all,
microphone.
Ian, if you could look due east
East.
and set the scene for me in that direction, please.
Am I
I
looking
gave
in
it
the right
away for him.
direction?
Yes, you
I
are.
gave it away for him.
Okay, so we are on a long street, pedestrian street. We have a pine, which is topical because there's Hotel de Pine right over there.
Ah,
We've got a statue. We've got
it's one of those good kind of southern French pines. What, do you know what those are called, Josh?
It's really good.
Chance?
They're just called pines here.
Pines.
but it's
They're
certainly
good.
one.
You like they're a very specific look.
If I stand up, which I'm doing,
You are standing up, can confirm.
Now you're looking
fact
west.
check.
and we're looking west, we're looking down a street with so many people sitting outside enjoying a lovely night. Over there, there's a restaurant called Restaurant Papa, which aligns with my ethos. Over here, we've got a place that has beers on tap. And there's lots of people, and somebody has just brought me another
You
beer.
translated that from French. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Would you like to be on a podcast? There is a man who is too busy to be on the podcast. Okay, he'll be back.
Great, we have an
Uh,
After Dark segment.
We've had some lovely food at Cafe Paulette.
He said maybe a bit later. So
Yeah.
you
Maybe a
never
bit
know.
later. Well, that's good.
Ooh.
Somebody, a child.
Unlike
a child
our waiter
has
last
shattered
night,
the
though.
glass.
Unlike our waiter last night, I don't think he has thoughts on the bike race.
No, probably not.
But
the other
he
waiter
is a
does,
recurring
though.
character.
The other
Yes.
waiter does. Oh, this is great.
Yes.
First of all,
Thanks,
listeners,
Josh. Scrabbling around there for talking points.
listeners, take a moment. If you had to guess who we might have run into in the paddock today, that we also
It took me a while to guess.
ran into
Who did I guess before that? Some odd
at
characters.
dinner last night, who would you guess?
Odd Christian Eking. I wish.
Our favorite waiter from last night. Our very into bike racing waiter.
Have we
from
found out
last
his
night.
name
He
at any
came
point? Or
and
does he
he-
just speak cycling?
No,
to
that's the beauty
at
of
you?
it. That's the
We have
beauty
no
of
idea.
it.
Ah,
He came
Cyclismo.
and chatted with Josh and I this morning, and then we had to kind of extricate Josh because he was showing us photos on his phone of bike racers that we've spent the month with. So
Right, but he was showing us pictures of he was telling us that he had taken photos with some of the riders, and I said, which ones? And he said, I don't know.
That's great though. That is
But
like
he was so excited, and it was great.
Exactly.
Made my
I'm not
morning.
saying this to denigrate him. This
Yeah.
is he was enjoying it more than we have ever enjoyed a bike race.
yeah.
It is the best. Whilst I was interviewing Ben Healy's dog, he was taking a selfie of himself with me interviewing Ben Healy's dog in the background.
Was that
Love it.
off-putting?
We have to go back to the restaurant and get it.
We actually have to.
What a wonderful man.
Yeah, he is a lovely man. One of the nice people we've met so far.
Unlike the guy next to me.
Well-
Was that in After Dark? Yes, I complained
Yeah.
about him in After Dark.
Yeah.
Okay, so
members
we'll leave it
only.
there.
It was a great tirade from Caley. It was Caley takes a stand after 3 weeks. He finds his hill to die, and he's like,
It takes a
This
lot
guy.
for me to get kind of worked
Yeah.
up.
I
And
liked
I was
it.
so angry. Anyway, if you
It was your
escapecollective.com/TDF, sign up for $1. You're gonna hear me go on a
Yeah.
rant about an
it
American.
was your
city.
Leo
$1.
DiCaprio. I'm not leaving. That was it.
$1 to hear Caley air his personal grievances,
Which he never
against
does,
a
ever.
countryman
Yeah, great.
at a restaurant in Nice.
Really enjoyed.
It was. I mean, the dude was terrible.
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 Back
You
to
know
the bike.
who's not going to be giving us $1?
Who?
The dude who was sitting next to you, Caley.
Should
There's a
we-
certain type of human male who, when they walk by us
I
making a
know-
podcast, have to make some sort of loud noise.
I know why you didn't like that one though. Is because he's wearing those really baggy shorts that remind you of your childhood.
Of my childhood, where
And every time you walk past, you're like, I don't understand.
I don't get it. We did it once. It was terrible. Why are we going back? Yes. No, there's just a certain type of human male that does that, and they think it's funny, and they giggle to themselves, and they continue onwards.
Luckily,
Luckily,
sometimes I get a
I
little
don't
kick.
think the listeners can actually hear them.
Well, I wish they did.
Yeah.
Might surprise them. One final bit of business from us before we hear from Jose and then head to After Dark. Maya Sable. I bring you bad news, gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
Louis Manchis is back in the
Oh, no.
Maya Sable. To be
How?
fair to him, I've only tried to speak to him once or twice and got like, I don't care vibes. So maybe we should try again tomorrow. But we won't actually know if he's in it until Jai Hindley comes across the line because he's 18th with 52 minutes.
Our nice waiter is back. He doesn't want to disturb us, but we want to disturb him.
Merci beaucoup.
Do we think Jai Hindley could lose 8 minutes to become the Maya Sable, or could Steph Crass lose 16 to become the Maya Sable? So that sort of stands, or maybe if Louis Manchis
What if
loses by 25 seconds to Enric Mas because he's ahead of Enric Mas by
What
25
if
seconds.
we got 2023 Tour de France podcast best friend, Zach, to text Jai Hindley, because they're old mates from Perth,
Shall we try?
and tell Jai what he's got to do tomorrow, that he has to have
Okay,
a
I'll
nearly
screenshot and text that.
nearly out of time cut time trial
Will it be that
tomorrow.
close?
Like, to lose 8 minutes tomorrow would be like, yeah.
Oh, because it's going to be like 30 minutes? No, 30, 40 minutes maybe?
There's
a big climb.
somewhere between 30 and 40. I'd have to look closely at it. But
Okay. So we're staring down the barrel of either Enric Mas or Louis Manchis Maya Sable.
But this is the point where Hindley has to decide what is more important to him: sabotaging his chances for future contracts
Yeah.
by the worst time trial he's ever done, or a made-up classification that we think would be funny.
It's true.
Over to you, Jai.
I
Yep.
would like to be a coward and ask Ian if he would like to try and interview either Enric Mas or Louis Manchis tomorrow about the Maya Sable.
I feel good about interviewing Louis Manchis.
Okay. Well, let's
Uh,
pray that he does a good time
I
trial.
can do my South African accent.
he'll
and-
love that.
He'll know it.
No, he'll love it.
He'll love it.
Oh, he'll love it. Yeah, he'll love it. He'll feel right at home. Louis, that was a great time trial, my friend. You took it a little bit too hot into that corner. Did you get a little bit of a fright?
That's pretty good, actually.
That's not bad.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, I'll talk to Louis
Okay,
Manches.
thank
I
you.
will not,
Talk
under
to-
any circumstances, talk to Enric Mas.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Tonight, well, we got one stage left. So Jose is telling us all about Monaco,
Ah. Oh, this is when we.
which I also
yesterday-
said yesterday.
Did it make it into the podcast?
I was
or not?
a day. I think it was cut out.
Ah. So we didn't talk about how Pogačar lives in a tax haven and has a 350 grand watch.
I mean, maybe yeah.
We have now.
We have
We
now.
have now.
Great. Just facts.
Let's head over to Jose.
The final stage takes us from Nice to Monaco. There's no show parade on the Champs-Élysées this year, but a proper stage, a time trial. This is always a good quiz question. What is the smallest independent state in the world? Well, most people probably know it's Vatican City, but Monaco is second on that list. It's home to many pro cyclists and other top athletes who like the lifestyle, the proximity to good trading roads, and the tax system. Victor Langolotti and Antoine Berlin are riders who are actually from Monaco, like Formula One pilot Charles Leclerc, who finally won his home race this year. We won't see neither Langolotti nor Berlin in a Tour de France because Berlin rides for the third division team of Bikeaid and Langolotti for Burgos BH, and that's a Spanish team that did not get a wild card. But who knows, Charles Leclerc comes out to watch the race with half of his Formula One friends living there too. Or maybe there's a race on this weekend. I have no idea about Formula One, so please, forgive me. I do know about cycling, and I do know that in 2009, the Tour de France last visited Monaco. The opening time trial that year was for Fabian Cancellara, and the second stage started in Monaco and was won by Mark Cavendish. The history of this microstate is old. Like most settlements on the Mediterranean coast, ancient seafaring nations settled here. The Rock of Monaco was even inhabited before that, but not permanently. The first permanent inhabitants were a Greek people called the Phaeacian from Massalia, and that is modern-day Marseille. They founded the colony of Monoikos around 600 BC and dedicated it to Heracles, or Hercules in Roman mythology, who they believed had visited this exact place. And the port in Monaco is still called Port Hercules. Monaco remained under Roman control until the collapse of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD. It then went from one people to the next, because a strategic stronghold and a natural harbour along the Mediterranean coast were always quite popular territory in those centuries. In the process, it was almost completely destroyed. The history books mentioned Monaco at the end of the 12th century again, when the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire gives this small piece of land to the city of Genoa. And in 1215, they started building a fortress on the rock. The Grimaldi family from Genoa found refuge in Monaco from all the civil upheaval in their own city. And in 1297, Francisco Grimaldi seized the rock and started a dynasty that still rules this small independent country. Well, independent, it was still a popular piece of real estate to have. In that respect, nothing has changed in all these centuries. In short, the French took over, then the Kingdom of Sardinia, and then Monaco's sovereignty was recognised by the Franco-Monegasque Treaty of 1861. But not for long, because the Italian army invaded in 1942 and the Germans in 1943, sadly at the heavy toll of the Jewish population. Monaco was then liberated in 1944. In 2002, a new treaty between France and Monaco clarified that if there are no heirs to carry on the Grimaldi dynasty, the Principality will remain an independent nation rather than to be annexed by France. Monaco's military defence, however, is still the responsibility of France. Well, that concludes 21 stages of this year's Tour de France. We started with a devil's sigh in Florence. We went into historical places along the route, met famous people like Jeanne d'Arc, Charles de Gaulle and Henri de Grange, commemorated Tour de France riders who are no longer with us, and feasted on local food, wine and cheeses. These 3 weeks flew by, and this was my 5th year doing these daily podcast entries and blogs on the Escape Collective website. They are truly a highlight of my year. I learned so much from researching these articles, and I really, really enjoy reading your reactions daily. I do hope you enjoyed them as much as I did, and don't worry, I will be back for the Tour de France Femmes avec Swift. But first, stage 21. À bientôt.
I did not know that about the Principality of Monaco.
I did. I didn't.
We're going to go see some big boats tomorrow, boys.
Big boats.
Nobody has offered us their yacht.
Yeah, can
so
you
we
believe
are going
it?
to have to take the train with the poors.
Ugh. No, Fabrice has got us tickets on the train,
It's true.
which is great.
There's
Hopefully
like,
he'll be there dressed as a conductor. I bet that's his second secret dream job. So obviously
that would
Christian
be amazing.
Prudhomme's muscle is his first.
I don't know if Fabrice is a known character in the Escape Collective cinematic universe,
Ah.
but he is the more earnest, less chain-smoky version of Christophe.
Well, he's his
He's
big
Christophe's boss.
Big
well,
boss.
he's Christophe's boss.
I won't hear a bad word about Fabrice. Fabrice
Yeah.
makes the trains run on time.
Yeah, he does.
Sometimes literally,
Yeah.
like tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Fabrice is a man of indeterminate age, maybe 30, maybe 40, maybe 50.
Like
He'll never
Lauren
tell.
for
Johnson.
Kaylee and me, like
He's
if
your
Fabrice
Pierre
is a
Mugler.
peer.
Yeah, he's our peer.
We knew him when he was a Pierre Mugler.
Yep.
And now I knew him at my first tour 12 years ago. Caley knew him at his first tour 14 years ago when he was probably the junior ASO.
He was literally, I think that's why I think the original holder of that phone number in my phone was Fabrice. I'm
And-
pretty sure.
and
One time he ran into the press room and said,
Wait.
"Do you drive a silver car?" And I was like, sure. And it was on a tow truck already. And he said,
Ah.
sorry.
This sounds
So
like
it wasn't move it. It was just like, it has happened.
Yeah.
This sounds like After Dark. So we should stop it here and move on. So the freeloaders have had a taste, and now they just know escapecollector.com/TDF. $1 per month.
It's just us whinging about ASO people.
No, it's given insightful.
Stories about
Not insightful.
There's a
no,
lot of
insightful.
people,
Insightful is
Insightful.
good.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
a lot of people
Yeah.
walking past with matching outfits.
Yep.
This is the second set of. Oh,
Where?
they're talking to us.
One.
We are on the radio.
One big curtain cut between them.
Well, you can't just. It's just an
Oh
auditory
yeah, I
medium.
forgot. Okay.
So
forget
a
that.
family just walked by. Lovely family.
Yeah.
The mother
They were
asked,
fine.
They were a family.
asked if we were on the radio.
And you said yes, which is absolutely a
I
lie.
I
said
didn't say
yes.
yes.
I
Johnny
said yes.
Oh,
We didn't want to engage them and explain to them what we were doing.
Yeah. But more
But-
importantly, the
We're
mother
making
and the two
a-
daughters were all wearing matching
Yeah.
dresses, hence Johnny's comment.
Deeply lame.
You didn't want
Twins, you
to.
can dress the same.
You didn't want to get into.
Parent can't wear the
Non,
same.
non, c'est un podcast pour un collectif qui s'appelle Escape.
That's fun.
Échappé.
Échappé.
Final thing on Fabrice. I think our aim should be for like him, Pierre Mugler, Christophe Morel, is that when people listen to podcasts, come to the tour, they're able to spot those three individuals and go up to them and be like, "Are you Christophe Morel?"
And get a signature.
Yeah, and then Christophe Morel will be so shocked he'll swallow the tiny
If-
little bit of his cigarette he's still trying to smoke.
I'm putting this challenge out there. If anybody listening to this
Yeah.
can get the autograph
Yes.
of Muglak or Fabrice, should we include
Fabrice
should-
is
okay,
a new
we should-
character.
Yeah, but yeah.
specifically
This
Muglak?
is for next year.
Let's say Muglak. If you're at this race, because I know that there's a whole bunch of listeners
Tomorrow.
that are at this race here,
Yeah.
if you can get Pierre Muglak's autograph
What do they get?
tomorrow, send me a note,
What are you going to give him?
Twitter, email. I am going to comp your membership for the year.
Nice.
Free membership for a year.
Pierre Muglack is now in great danger.
Doesn't count if you are someone with an accreditation of the Tour de
Or
France.
if that's not
Doesn't
what you
count.
want, if you don't want a comp membership,
You can have a T-shirt.
all of us will sign and write a small note.
No, I'm not signing anything. I'm going to say chapeau to them.
Yeah. we will sign and write a small note on our Tour de France road book. And I'll send that to you.
Roadbook. I've got all my signing done in China. My left hand's worn out.
You can just write a note.
It's a big
then.
chapeau.
We can give the After Dark people some extra intel on what to look for in a Pierre Muglack. Because
We must have been over this before.
No, we've explained his ethos. We've said he's got a wonderful moustache, but we can really go more
Okay.
specific than that.
Right then. See you all tomorrow.